How does Ed Nigma's other side develop now that he's let the other side out the box, and what implications might that have for Christine?
Oh, many implications. Well, we'll see on Monday. I think there was a sneak peek released by somebody where, Dark Enigma is essentially the catalyst for Ed to get the things that he wants, which is, attention from Kristen, love from Kristen, a date, and so he's just going to be pushing him to man up and have some courage and take chances. And so we'll see Ed finally just say what he should have said about 20 episodes ago, which is like, will you go on a date with me, or go on a date with me? Don't even ask, just tell it. Yeah.
Bye. So what is your relationship going to be? How is that involved? Because we just had a phone review recently.
Right.
But you guys are really going to have some moments this season. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, with the rise of the villains, that generally implies that we're all going to start interacting with each other. And since we've already met briefly in the first season, we come back into each other's lives in a pretty major, exciting way.
In a very exciting way. Yeah, fate just has it that Edward and Oswald must meet again.
Yeah.
And so we run into each other in a very interesting place, and Edward knows exactly who Oswald is, obviously, as we know, and Oswald could really care less. But Edward is such a fan, and as we'll see his evolution, especially in the next few episodes, because of Bad Nigma really kind of spurring him along, he's going to be interested in talking to Oswald, getting some thoughts.
Yeah, and likewise, Oswald.
Furniture, clothing,
fashion. No, and then from Oswald's standpoint, he's always he's collecting allies, and we're always trying to find ways that he can, bring people to his side and use them for his advantage, and we'll see that develop.
Any luck getting Paul Rubens?
We shall see.
We shall see. I mean, I hope so.
I know you want that so badly.
It's an absolute dream. Could you imagine working with you? I look back like 10-year-old self and I would just keel over and die if I went back.
Did you talk about your lunch?
What's that?
Did you tell him?
Well, he's very close with Carol.
Right.
And that's how I actually met Paul a couple months ago through Carol. We had a brunch together, and that was totally surreal. So yeah, it would be amazing.
I'm so jealous.
I know it was. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
Neither of your characters are full-fledged villains yet, or still kind of have both sides of them. So how do you know when to bring the more evil into your more normal lives of the character, and when do you kind of hold back?
Well, I think a lot of it is circumstance, and you'll see it play out in storylines. It's a lot of what Gotham is about how the city influences these people and sort of forms who they are and the choices that they make. And so in terms of becoming, darker characters, more fully fledged, villains that, become less sympathetic. A lot of that, like I said, is circumstances driving these characters to become, they have no choice but to become darker and more ruthless to survive in the city. So yeah, it's a lot of it is just, what happens in their lives.
And I personally, Edward is, there's this really exciting thing happening for me, which is a tug of war by the same character, these two sides pulling him. And having made Edward a bit of a brighter character, really joyful, gleeful, I have this other part now that's pulling him down, his feet are on the ground. And this was unleashed because he took this drug of killing someone. It's he knows it's terrible for him, but it was amazing. It was amazing, and he's listening to this other part of himself. But it's all in the writing. They give us hints of what they need and what they want, and we get to kind of choose the tactics in which they get there. Sometimes you gotta lie, and sometimes lying is fun. And sometimes you have to hurt somebody, and
It can be fun too.
and sometimes that is fun.
Only in make-believe.
Only make-believe.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Great talking
Thank
to you
you.
all. Have a good one.